everyone. Good evening. It is 7 o'clock and we're going to start the Township Board of Trustees meeting. Welcome everyone. If you haven't signed in the back, please do so before you leave. We greatly appreciate it. Could I have a roll call, please?
You may. Mr. Jacobs?
Here.
Mr. Kaufman?
Here.
And Ms. Colvin?
Here.
You have a form, sir?
Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we are to approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. We'll start December 17th first, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 17th meeting.
I will second.
Alrighty, all in favor of accepting the meeting minutes for December 17th, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays, like sign. Motion's carried.
And do I have approval of the minutes from the December 30th meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 30th meeting.
And I'll second that.
All in favor of accepting the meeting minutes for December the 30th, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays, like sign. Motion is carried.
Do we have any additions, removals, or disclosures from the posted agenda?
We have 3 new resolutions to add to the agenda that's posted. 2005-7, it has 08 and that's 09.
Excellent. Anything else? Hearing none, okay, thank you very much. So, we had Joe Garrett from Chevelle scheduled, but he is not here with us.
He,
Probably due to weather.
FYI, he's stopping at Massey Township first, and
Okay,
so he'll be here, and I told him he'd work him in when he got here.
excellent, very good. Well, we look forward to seeing Joe. Citizens' comments, do I have any? Hearing none, we'll move forward to the road department report. Good evening, Mr. Camry.
Good evening, board. Well, it's been a very exciting few days. I apologize for not getting a report turned in, but the end of last week was kind of busy and the beginning of this week was kind of busy. So just a little verbal. So with this last snow event, I had about 11 inches at the shop. So local amounts may vary. I called the guys in at 1300 on Sunday. We worked through until midnight on Sunday, which I called them in off the road because the visibility was just about 2 feet. And we stayed in at the shop until 04 when we hit it again. And then we finally got the roads back to where I felt comfortable leaving them overnight. So at 17:30 on Monday, we left to go home, and we were back in at 06 this morning. Roughly about 25 tons of salt, plus or minus, 500 gallons of V-heat, plus or minus, 300 gallons of fuel, plus or minus, and between Jeff and I, 2.5 gallons of coffee. So, we were running dangerously low on fuel, so fuel got delivered last night. I called in a favor from a fuel guy. B-heat, we finally got that tank empty after 3 years, so B-heat will be delivered tomorrow, and I will pick up the junk out here sometime this week. So, all is well. That is all I have.
Thank you,
I'll
Scott.
let you guys have anything to,
That was a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, we
Let your
appreciate
team
it.
thank
know
you,
we
I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it. You're welcome, appreciate that.
Yep. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Moving forward, fire department report. Good evening, Chief Beckett. Welcome back from vacay.
Good evening, thank you. It's almost great to be back. Because of the illness. I'm sure I acquired at the airport and the plane as we sat there most of the day. We were on the last flight that got into CBG on Sunday, so otherwise the rest of my family is still stuck in New Orleans
Oh, wow.
as of about 1 o'clock today, so very fortunate to be home, so. Nothing Too big to the report I submitted. My report was submitted late too because I thought I submitted one with lots of stuff on it to Mr. Edwards. However, it did not go through, so. Total EMS runs for the month are 65. Fire calls were 20. Total of 85 for the month. These are rough numbers for the year. I will have a complete, because there's always some runs hanging out there that we need to go back through and make sure they get locked and uploaded. So 892 EMS calls for the year. Total fire runs were 359 for a total of 1251. That number will increase a little bit because there's still a few hanging out there that people have to complete and get done. Recommend the hiring of Gabriel Lawson as a part-time firefighter paramedic. Resolution to accept the resignation of firefighter paramedic Ken Koontz. And today while I was driving around, getting Brad Lawson, one of our new people we hired at the last meeting, his orientation tour, we saw that there was some repairs needed to Station 92. The gutter and flashing on the back is hanging off. I've signed that to Captain Carter, and he's gonna get some bids to, excuse me, get that fixed. One thing that Assistant Chief Lalich, one of his duties is doing the EMS billing through MediCount. I've talked to you before about it, but we got our final, what we've recouped from MediCount for EMS billing this year is $251,089.40. That's increased $37,549 from last year. And that's a 17.5% increase. That will only keep going up because as we tighten down and, make sure we're getting the signatures we need for the reimbursements and doing this and start, as we provide more ALS care, that reimbursement will go up. So big thanks to him for keeping on that and making sure we're getting all the signatures we need and dotting the I's, crossing the T's. There is an update coming out the 15th of January on how we upload runs. It's really not going to affect any of our operations, but we're going to have tighter restrictions and just a couple of different check boxes we have to hit before we submit runs up to the state. So he's been working on that as well.
Good news. Thanks. Good news, is it? Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Appreciate
Chief.
that.
You feeling better?
Yeah, hope you get better.
I'm not going to come in tomorrow. I just want you to know that, but I'll have my phone.
Okay.
Unless it's on fire, I'll come in for that.
Thank you, Chief, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Moving forward, zoning department report. Good evening, Stacy.
Good evening. So here we have a list of some of the applications that have just finished up or are pending right now. I just received a rezoning application for, should have the address here, but on State Route 73 and Township Line, for, it's about 92 acres, a rezoning request for the property to go from recreation zoning to R1 zoning, and then the adjacent property is also R1 and is owned by the same person. So their first step is to attempt to go through with the rezoning and ultimately for a subdivision. The zoning commission had a hearing on the 2nd, and they voted 2-1 to recommend approval of an R1 PUD overlay for Miami Valley Roofing, and that will come to you on the 21st of this month for a public hearing. And we have the Board of Zoning Appeals. On December 19th, they had approved the Ohio Greenworks site plan for their new location at 3235 State Route 73. So that's all the hearings. And we had the HVAC system installed. The contractor did indicate he would like to come back and fix some of our ductwork in the basement that was never done correctly. directly originally, at no charge to us. He doesn't like that it drips, so he said that he would make a schedule to, come in and take care of that. He was gonna come yesterday, but we chose another day, so,
I appreciate that.
yeah. So that's everything I have this month.
Thank you. Thank you, Stacy, appreciate it. Any other questions for Stacy?
Yeah, thank you again.
Hearing none. Moving forth, Administrator's Report. Good evening, Gus.
Good evening, board. First item, a little update on where we're at with the fire department, with the Clemens Nelson's engagement, with FLSA accounts. Mr. Woodward worked quite a bit on it Thursday and Friday of last week. And then today, he's been back at it, and he had a couple questions today, which got answered, but sounds like it's gonna take him another week or so. He's kind of working on it off and on, and, but he hopes to have something back within the next, well, probably before next meeting. A couple of questions he had today are, he's got most of the buckets, he's created buckets to put everybody in, and so we probably have, I don't know, 60 to 70% of the people will have to be adjusted from what we have. But then he looked today, he was looking at about, I don't know, the list. I'll email you out the communication I had today, so that you'll see it. It's not gonna tell you a whole lot, because you gotta look at all the other documents that refer to it, but at least he's classified the individuals that are good at, you know, he'll show you what the bucket he's put in, and if you got any questions on that, you can let me know. Chief did meet with, Chief Beckett, met with Chief Copeland to, communicate about the phases of, construction on the OPWC Franklin Road project with Village of Waynesville, and ensured that he would be updated as need be. Got all the paperwork signed and had a meeting with RTM Roofing, and they said it's gonna take probably 2 to 3 days to do everything, so he wants to wait till sometime in the spring when it's 50 degrees and rising in order to do it properly and get it done properly. Mainly due to the fact that he cannot do it all at one time, and so he could section it off into 2 different sections and tar part of it, but I told him I'd just rather than wait and get it done with it, because nothing's leaking right now, so we're good with that. HVAC has been taken care of by Stacy. Thank you, Stacy. Talked to Mr. McGarry about the properties that we've been discussing, and I caught up with him right before he left on the holidays, right before Christmas, and his first comment when I asked him about why he hadn't responded or whatever, he said, well, he'd been ironically working with Union Township on the sale of one of their parcels that they were trying to get rid of. And he told me to absolutely not do anything until he has time to research the titles and so forth on the properties. Guess what he ran in with Union Township is they were trying to sell a piece of property that was donated to them, and when he did a title search, he found out that it was not theirs to sell, that it actually was supposed to revert back to some other individual or some place. So he wants to make sure that we do it right the first time, so he doesn't cause them a mess. So I told him I would pass the message along to the board, and we'd have a little patience with him trying to get these, you know, how to each one of the 4 properties that we had listed. Stair I-73 bridge, I'm assuming the board got the phone calls or emails that kind of shot around about why everything was open, but O'Neill and Cornwall was still closed, and yeah, the reason was because of the abutments that were poured, and they haven't cured that. They got to take the formwork off, and then also this guardrail needs to be replaced. So as soon as the bridge is safe to open and there's no blunt ends, then they'll remove the barriers and last item I have is text.gov, they circled back around and I had talked with them probably a couple years ago, and maybe Brad was here. And I don't know if it was stuff I put in the packet will recall or remember or anything, but went through another demonstration with them, and it's just a good tool that if somebody had any questions about the government, then you could text, our number and ask a question, and it would automatically populate. We'll go through the exercise later on, whatever, but it's really kind of neat. The thing that I like about it, though, I wanted to call your attention to, is that I would want to maybe engage in this now, but if it comes around to having to do anything with the township, possibly promoting the next levy, anything of that nature. One feature that they have added is that they've got a database of phone numbers, and they've got a map that you can pull up, and you can take what road that you want notified.
Oh, I'll take this,
You'll take all of it.
the cash.
And so like, for instance, if we're doing a subdivision and we want to notify the residents on that street, they have access to all the phone numbers, and so it would automatically then send a text out to all those individuals, which I thought that was really neat feature that they've added. But other than that, the price point on there is negotiable, depending on what we're gonna use it for. So I told them just leave the price point on the quote there. That's at a maximum. Again, that's not selling it, not saying we wouldn't need it now, just want you to have, have it back in mind in case you want a tool like this in the future. And that's really all I have for my report.
Any other questions for Gus? Hearing none, thank you, Gus.
Thank you, guys.
Moving forward, fiscal officer's report. Good evening, Scott.
Good evening, board. Good evening, Brad. I've just been working on getting the appropriation set and all, so we're moving forward, getting the new year started and closing out the old year all at the same time, so that's moving forward. And so I don't really have a lot. I did get contact with SCU Strategic, and they'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. I forget what the date was, 19th, I think. Or no, it's the week of the 19th, maybe. The week of the 20th. And they'll start taking out documents to get scanned in, and so that piece of is gonna move forward there. Other than that, I don't really have a lot tonight. I'll have more, like I said, more POs and stuff next time for you guys. Give me some time to catch up.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah.
That was a slow night.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
Oh, thank you.
Any other questions for Scott?
No.
Hearing none. Okay, moving forward, old business, sale of properties. We kind of talked a little bit about that. We're at a standstill. Any other old business? Okay, new business, questions or concerns to bills?
I have none.
None. Motion to approve payment of bills presented for payment. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second.
as stated. Yeah.
Excellent.
Jacobs and Colvin. Okay, roll call vote. Ms. Colvin?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
All right, this motion passed.
Okay, we're gonna move forth into legislation. We have resolution 2025-01, resolution appointing Wayne Township officers and representatives for the year 2025. And that, as you can see on the screen, is why I'm here in the middle.
Stuck in the middle again.
So,
I don't
We
teach
have-
you to miss a
That's
meeting.
right.
I was here. So we have myself as president of the board, we have vice president being Diane Colvin, representatives to serve on the Warren County Regional Planning Commission, we have Gus Edwards and Stacy Lowen, and full board, we have Stacy, and then alternative, we have Gus. And then representatives to serve on the Warren County Combined Health District Advisory Board would be myself, and alternate would be Diane. So I make a motion to adopt this resolution 2025-01. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Okay, roll call vote. Mr. Kaufman?
Yay.
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Ms. Colvin.
Yes,
This resolution is adopted the 7th day of January.
Okay, next resolution is 2025-02, a resolution authorizing township officials to attend local, state, and national conferences and authorizing reimbursement payment for the expenses incurred while attending those meetings for 2025. This is pretty much just general resolution that we do at the beginning of the year. Is there any discussion?
Nope.
Okay, make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-02.
I will second that.
Roll call vote, Ms. Colvin,
yes,
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman.
Yes.
This resolution is adopted the 7th day of January.
Okay, next resolution is 2025-03, resolution approving payment of county and state association dues from the general fund for the year 2025. Any discussion?
I have none.
Okay, make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-03.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote, Mr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Ms. Colvin.
yes,
And this resolution's passed the 7th day, 7th day of January.
Okay, next resolution is 2025-04 to set a fix the annual salary of the township trustees as permitted and determined by O.R.C. 505.24. It's a standard resolution that we do at the beginning of every year. Any discussion?
I have none. Go ahead.
where's the, do we have one for the fiscal officer? Does that change this year?
Yeah, it changes the same as
Okay,
well.
I didn't know if that needed to be.
I mean, I don't know if they take offices, they take it in.
That's typically never been on a resolution that we have to deal with.
All right, just questioning.
No, fine.
It's a good question. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-04.
Second?
Okay, roll call vote, Mr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Ms. Colvin.
Colvin, yes?
I don't know why I did that.
I don't either.
The resolution's passed the 7th day of January.
Your brain got ahead of your mouth. Or your mouth got ahead of your brain.
Yeah.
Okay, next resolution, 2025-05, resolution approving the disposition of township property by means of internet auction if we see the need to. Any discussion?
Well, what are we selling? Are we selling anything?
No, but this is just, what this does is if we pass this at the beginning of the year, then we don't have to do it individually every time we go to put something out. So it'll be listed on make a placeholder on the website, and so we'll post stuff on our website when it goes up for auction. So,
In the past that we've set the price, I thought.
yes, I will still present resolutions as we go to sell,
Okay.
but it's to cover the notification
All right,
of how we dispose of
sounds good.
property over $2,500 to the public.
So it's a pre-notification of the notification. Gotcha.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adopt 2025-05.
I will second.
Well, I mean, and it's, it's only the bigger items.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
You know, some,
Correct.
smaller stuff where we'll take whatever we can get.
Right,
You guys can do that just with a voice vote.
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Okay, roll call vote, Ms. Colvin,
yes,
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman.
Yes.
This resolution's passed this 7th day of January.
Okay, next resolution is 2025-06, a resolution approving payment of a mileage rate to be used to calculate reimbursement for travel and personal vehicles while conducting township business until amended. I've heard that price went up this year.
70,
70 cents per mile.
yeah.
I asked Stacy to look into this,
Yeah.
for us. We've been at 55 cents for, I couldn't remember when, and we discovered that it actually was passed by resolution in 2012, and so we've not made adjustments in our mileage reimbursement since 2012.
And that's the federal, that's what
Yeah,
IRS
because-
published for this year.
So, any other discussions?
No,
Okay, moving forth, I make a motion to approve resolution 2025-06.
I'll second.
Alrighty, roll call vote, Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Ms. Colvin,
Yes,
Mr. Jacob, Mr. Kaufman.
Yes.
All right, this resolution's passed the seventh day of January. That's,
Okay, next we have resolution 2025-07, accepting the resignation of Kimberly Contz from the Wayne Township Fire Department. We appreciate Kimberly's service, wish her well. Any other discussion, chief?
Nope.
Okay. Make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-07.
I'll second.
all righty, Mr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
all righty, this resolution's passed the seventh day of January.
Next, we have resolution 2025-08, approve the acceptance and hiring of Gabriel J. Lawson to the Wayne Township Fire Department as a part-time firefighter paramedic. Chief, anything else you'd like to add?
Another solid hire, coming full-time at the city of Lebanon. He wants to come and help build the culture, and we're gonna let him do just that.
That's our second one from Lebanon recently, isn't it?
Yeah, third,
Third, okay,
yeah. So,
good,
Very good, glad to hear.
yeah,
Welcome to
got
the,
the local people.
yeah,
welcome to the team, Gabriel.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-08.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote, Mr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
all righty, this resolution's adopted the seventh day of January.
And our last resolution is 2025-09, a resolution to authorize a refund to Joshua Patrick for insurance withholding taken out of his August 2024 paycheck. Any discussion?
No, we discussed it before. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-09.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote, Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman,
Yes.
and Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
this resolution's passed the seventh day of January.
Any other new business? Okay, we're gonna switch gears. Welcome, Mr. Garrett. How you doing?
Good. I was thinking maybe I'm still sorting papers here, but I can
Well,
go.
we'll come back to you,
I
we'll
can
come back
go.
to you, we got some other things.
All right, yeah. Go ahead.
Sort fast.
Yeah.
Any other
I
correspondences?
gotta get to the good news first.
There you go.
That's it.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
Correspondence?
I don't know.
Nothing.
No, okay. Any elected officials' comments?
The only thing I have again is, I wanna thank the road department again, for the roads and everything, great job.
Thank you.
Your guys and everything like that too, so appreciate that. Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully 2025 goes well for everyone.
Nope. I agree. Thank you to the residents for driving safe. I believe, we didn't have anything crazy happen, so that was great. And those passing through our community, thank you for, being considerate of other drivers.
It is.
Okay? Work session? No? Okay. Executive session? No? Okay. Joe?
Ready?
You're the only thing sticking.
You better be, because you're holding the meeting up now.
You danced just long enough. Thank
You got 6 minutes, sir.
you. Gus, I'm gonna give this to you as soon as I get done, okay?
You gonna be at OTA again this year?
Who's going to the OTA?
You want the conference?
That's what I'm talking about.
All I can give you is a
You
half.
guys share. So we are doing our Health the Moon event, which is a lot of fun. The OTA, we ran out to Health the Moon, on Wednesday. So if you're up there, certainly come by. I'd love to see you.
That's a great day, January 29th.
Happy birthday. Now see if you show up. You probably don't want me knowing that
Yeah, that's
information because they have a stage and singers and,
Yeah,
yeah.
you just backed up and stepped in it
Yeah,
right
so
there.
have your performance ready. You guys, there's a gentleman who's a trustee in Franklin County, Brian Morris, not even, but, and I was trying to get him up on the stage, but the only songs that he knew the lyrics to, the band didn't know. So he got lucky.
Talk to Brian today.
Good.
Now, I think there was enough liquid courage going was what was gonna help me out on getting him up there. but Those are the action. Okay, well, thank you. So, these that I gave you, these are the savings analysis. We have one from Duke and one from AES. The second page there, I think what is interesting to note is, of course, we don't have a lot of Duke in the township, but there was $176,000 savings on this last contract on the aggregation compared to the utility. On the Duke side, on the AES side, and I know it says the power line hasn't got changed yet, but it's 1.1 million. So together, we're pushing 1.3 million savings for the residents that have participated in the program versus if they stayed at the utility level. Now, that being, I'd love to take all the credit for that. Part of the credit is that the utility prices went so high, and we were able to lock in before the market adjusted. So that's good news. Bad news is the market's adjusted. So the other document that I gave you, and this, there's two of these. One says AES, one says Duke. Okay, these. There's more information on here than you probably want to know. But we are going to, and we did this last time, you guys signed an amendment that allowed us to purchase under a certain price for you, which we want to do again. But the price is, but we aren't locking the price. Okay, we want to lock it for the first year. For year 2 and 3, we want to lock it except for the capacity charge, which I'll get to. I know this is new information. But the first year, the price is 9.2 or under. And when I say 9.2, that doesn't mean we're gonna sign something at 9.2, hopefully it'll be less than that. But when we are in the 6s currently, you say, well, wait, why is that? That's what these explain, okay? A big part of that is if you look at the green area, and it doesn't matter, you can look at Duke or AES. If you go down to 23, it was 0.005, and these are what the cost of generation, what makes up the cost. Okay, so as of June 1, that's when the new year starts with the utilities, that's when their new pricing structure starts, is on June 1st. And it's the same for every utility in the state. So June 1st of 23, we had 0.005, and Duke 0.0147 for 24. AES, we had 0.049, 0.044. If we look at what's coming, which we already know, this is already set, this is happening, it's not changing. June 1st of 25, Duke capacity goes to 0.03, and AES goes to 0.0307, that's 3 cents. So in comparison, like in the AES market, you were less than half a cent for capacity, and it's going up to just a tick over 3 cents. That's affecting the rate. Now, the other items that are on there, the orangish, pinkish, is that's what we call other costs. That's basically what the utility marks up. There's a little bit of state taxes in there, but that number is, it moves a little bit, but it's less than a penny. Okay, so that's not a big earth mover. The blue is what the raw power costs, what they bought. What's on the left, and it's not here for Duke, because Duke has not had their auction yet, but Duke is not gonna pay significantly less than what all the other utilities. They're gonna pay probably somewhere in the high 70s to 80s is what they're gonna pay. That's what the market is for. But on the left, what it shows you is if we just take AES and we go back to 24, they had 3 auctions, and their auctions are regulated. And they have to be set and approved, and they have to do them on that day. They don't have a choice. The benefit of the aggregation, if you guys, again, approve the addendum to let us, we can buy on any day. We can sit and watch the market, we can buy when the market's good. We don't have, just because it's September 2nd, I have to go buy. We don't have to do that. That's huge, right? So what that means is if you look on June 1st, 2024 for AES, they had 3 auctions that made up the cost of power. And when you see tranche, that's a unit of measure. That, and think of it more as a percentage, right? So they go out with so much percentage, it gets bid on, and then the next one. But how this works is they had, and I'm not gonna go through all of them, call me if you want to really dive in, but it's basically the same information, I'm just kind of giving you a key, so if you look at it or wanna look at it, you can. April 2nd, 2024, they held an auction. It was for delivery of June 1st, 2024 to May 31st of 2025, so that's what we're currently operating in from that standpoint. They purchased 20 tranches. They thought that the market would be between $80 and $120. And they actually got it for $70.81. Now that price includes the capacity. Okay, it's the price of the, so yeah, if you look over on the right, you go, wait, it's only $7. Well, that it includes the capacity. They had another auction October 3rd, 2023 for June 1st, 2024 to May 31st, 2025. 40 tranches that they paid $74.68. And then April 4th of 2023, they had an auction June 1st of 2023, and that's when it's, the start date to the end date of May 31st, 2025. And they paid $90.14. Okay? All that gets averaged together, and that's where that, if you add the .0757 and the .0044, that's what that number averaged out to. And then they added the .0057 on top, and they got .0858 up. Capacity, that green portion that went up so much, used to be set 3 years at a time. We knew 3 years ahead of time what that was gonna do. We know 1 year. The formula, the piece that they mess around with the formula that creates it. Most recently, it has resulted in a lawsuit. So capacity, when you say, well, wait, this wasn't the price on the bill for the entire year. No, the capacity gets re-auctioned like every 3 months. And so when you see adjustments on the bill, it doesn't adjust much. It might go from, 858 to 87 or down to 84. That's because they redid the capacity and it dropped a little bit, okay? Well, that's not happening for 25, 26 at least at the moment, because the auction they were supposed to have in December for that did not happen. These have been set, they're not changing, okay, that capacity for this next year. And it led to a lawsuit, which FERC is involved with, which is the federal energy guys, arguing about how the capacity should be calculated. Capacity is, we all pay, it's for the generators to be able to go to 100% production. That is important that in Ohio, because Ohio is part of PJM, is our grid. Okay, PJM is the group that handles our grid, and we're one of 13 states in PJM. Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, they're all. Now, in Virginia, our capacity, that 3 cents represents a $277 auction price. Virginia's went to 400 and something auction price. So there's even more. So we're lucky we're not there. The problem is we have limited generation assets. And our demand is outpacing what we can produce. And so what that's doing is it's forcing us into using more than, we're getting into the area where the utilities, if they have to operate at that level, generators, that's their expensive stuff. That's the stuff they spend, they charge the most for. And if we're getting into a position where they know they've got you. You want everything I got? That's fine, but to go from this to this, you're gonna pay me this, or I'm not doing it. And that's the situation we're in. Unfortunately, well, there is anything that was to change. So if on January 21st, all of a sudden, you know, you've all heard of drill, baby, drill. That's great. But there's two problems. One, you have to pipe it somewhere. We don't have pipes in the ground because they weren't allowed to put pipes in the ground. Secondly, you have to pipe it to somewhere. We aren't building any plants. Now, what's probably going to happen, now, part of this is caused because you all heard of, everybody knows AI. Ohio's trying to become the data center AI, you know, of the Midwest. The problem is AI data centers, and there was an article in one of the guys, the head of the Ohio, Jobs Ohio, admitted to this, is nobody realized these AI data centers take 15 times more power than just a regular little data center. We don't have it.
Yes, they do.
Oh, yeah. So, part of the thought there is, and what's being talked about is that some of these big data centers are gonna have to provide some of their own power. And they're gonna have to put in some of these, there's little nuclear substations is what they are. That's gonna create a whole nother. But the point being is, even if we said today, we're gonna do this. Even if we said that. If we said we're gonna do it today, you know, it takes some time. You know, to put piping in the ground, to do the, you know, the testing, to do everything you gotta do. So we wanna enter into a 3-year deal, because we don't see prices coming down. We just don't. So Gus has an amendment that we would like the board to approve, that allows us to do the first 12 months, anything under 0.92, probably won't happen until February, you know, depending on the weather. And then it allows us to do years 2 and 3 at 7 cents or less, plus capacity. Capacity is a pass-through, so whatever it is will get added, and it automatic, and that'll be the price. And the reason we wanna do that is we think the capacity is gonna come down in future years, and we don't wanna be stuck with the high. So it allows us to get in at a lower price now, because if you look at the futures market, 2 years, 3 years out, the price is higher than it is today. So that's what we're gonna do. The other action item that Gus has, and this board could make a motion to allow Gus to sign it, it's something you do all the time, and it's the authorization that allows us to get data and file the PUC reports on your behalf. And we sign that every year, but we need it yearly, so I brought it, since I was gonna be here. That I'd love to go home with tonight. I'd love to go home with the amendment. Don't have to, but the sooner I have it, the sooner if we have that and the market tanks, I can buy for you. If I don't have it and the market tanks, I can't buy for you. So that's,
Are you proposing the same, like in Massey Township and Harveysburg and Waynesville, like everybody the same, okay? Just,
yes.
it's better when the citizens are all,
Well, it's not just, yes. Yeah, I'm cognizant of that.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we do that, because, yeah, we don't wanna get into, oh, if I think it,
right.
never doing that. But not only that, we're doing everybody that's in the AES market. So I have clients in Preble County, Montgomery County, Dark County. We're putting it all together. We're putting all the ones that agree
Yeah.
to it, and, which I'm hoping is gonna be most of them. Because I would have suggested it, I wouldn't do it. And so this is what is best to get the best price for residents. You know, there is some unknown, but it is an opt-out program. Now, there is a thing in there, and also on the natural gas, I should cover that real quick. Natural gas, it says anything under 60 cents. The cheapest natural gas has been is 52 cents here recently on the market. We're gonna see natural gas going up as well, because of the supply issues. And in 2025, they're building a new liquid nitrogen plant, or liquid propane, liquid natural gas plant to export. You probably saw on the news, Europe's not taking, they're not gonna take, isn't gonna take any more Russia natural gas. I think that will also be going with the change in DC. And so what's gonna happen is the natural gas we do, if we do production, it's going on a ship. So it's not gonna lower our costs domestically. So, and again, it's opt-out, right? So if the risk, the downside risk is mitigated from some better out there leave. So, but those are the action things that we'd like to get done, sooner the better. So,
It sure goes out. No, I think that was a good job of explaining the details of it all, because it's a complex situation that a lot of people just don't realize and understand. The different avenues, different partners, different pieces of the pie that come together to find that rate that is given to the customers,
yeah.
you know?
And the utilities are not going to come out and say, oh, hey, by the way, the price is going up to this June first. Well, we know that.
Yeah.
But unless the news media, the last time this happened, like in the AS market, it was only about 2 months, and it was the day the news started running with it. But like where I'm at, it's AEP market, AEP didn't say anything, and then when they did, it was manipulative. It wasn't open and honest.
Yeah.
It was, they played around with numbers to get it, so it didn't look so bad. AES, to their credit, didn't do that, and Duke didn't do that, but they didn't tell them now, and the problem is, we can't wait. But whatever we put in place won't start, your program runs through the end of May, right? And I wanna be in a position to be able to buy from February on. Doesn't mean we will, but I wanna be in the position. But it's not gonna start until June first either.
Right.
So that will also help that people will start, they'll start understanding before they start getting information on this. They'll be like, well, what do you mean the utility's going up to 9.7? Oh, great, they got me 8.5. So some of that, it's much harder if we're sending them something that says, oh, it's going, you're getting 8.5, and they're going, well, I'm only paying, I don't think that'll be the case. But we need to act because we can't wait on that, because again, they may not, if the news doesn't think there's a big enough increase, they're gonna say, nobody open up until they open their bill in July. All right.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
So Gus,
What do we got,
we're
Gus?
gonna turn it over to you.
Well, this is a resolution we passed in 2022, which basically, you can see language, gives development or gives me the authority, I think, on here. It doesn't give me the authority, but it basically allows, you to contract with Bell and.
So we're gonna change it. You're gonna represent the township.
It's an amendment to, we have an energy management agreement with the township to be your consultant. And it is set up as it's just an amendment to that contract. It just gives us the authority, nothing else changes, right? So all the, what we're supposed to do, all that's in that main contract.
Okay.
What this does is adds the portion that says, we can go do this at these different rates, because that changes over time, so you can't put it in the main contract. So we do the addendums, and it says none of this stuff supersedes that, but it allows us to purchase under these prices for these periods of time.
What price are you?
It was 9.2 for the first year, and then 7 cents plus capacity for years 2 and 3. Which, years 2 and 3 will, actually, I think is gonna be bigger savings. Because if you take capacity out of this year, you're at 7.3. We're saying 7 and less. So, and that comes from some of the suppliers, and the reason for that is I think the future, I think they're thinking we're doing better deals right now, that if we just did a 12-month and wait, we wouldn't be able to get that next year. So I think years 2 and 3, we'll see an actual larger spread on the savings than we will in year 1.
But you said you might find it cheaper than 9.2.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
So that, the energy market is, it's like, it's a commodity market, it's like the stock market, it trades every day, right? And it trades on the future, so when you do one of these, you have to buy every month. You don't buy, it's not like buying lumber, right? I want, a truckload today, what's the price today? It trades, and so whatever the price is, you have to buy, if we buy 36 months, you have to pay whatever the futures price is for each one of those months going out. And so you're not paying, and then it all gets averaged into the price that gets presented. And the reason we're doing that is when you look at years 2 and 3, year 2 is higher than year 1, year 3 is higher than year 2. We think those numbers are going to continue to climb when we get to year 2 and year 3. So we really think that today is the day, but you're buying, and it's all based off the load, right? So one of the things we get is the load factor of the residents here. And then they will look, and then they know they're gonna use this much power in these certain months, right? If you look at the savings analysis, and you look at the KWH on there, you'll see how it fluctuates. In the summer and the winter, the usage goes up. So they'll weight those months in the future higher at those rates, and it all averages out. But
Do you also look to see what else is coming into Ohio, as like, cause you said the data centers as well, the AI
so
for this market, so that would definitely change the load capacity.
That's where the problem is that if you turned on all the generation capacity to feed into the grid, it's like 180,000 kilowatt at one time, right? Which that's never gonna happen, because not everybody's not gonna be up all at the same time. You know, there's either maintenance or something breaking. So if you figure probably 160 is good. And the highest we hit last year in July was 155. So explain how you're saying we're gonna see a 40% increase in power draw. We don't have it. It's not there. And that's what they're saying, by 2030, they're saying we're gonna have this much more power need. Well, where's it coming from? The only solution is some of these big users are gonna, but then the problem, and there's gonna be a lot more to come to this, but like if you look at Jobs Ohio, and I didn't get to read the article, they just sent it to me actually when I was driving down here, that Trump just announced somebody's coming to Ohio, another data center.
There was, multiple states,
Okay,
he said.
so,
Yeah,
but,
we've got Honda down there now, and we've got the data center coming in, and I know that us, AEP, I work for AES, so
Okay.
Duke and AEP and them, everybody's been working on their transmission system. I mean, it's been since the 90s, since everybody's really put in the transmission system and stuff.
Well,
Everybody's upgrading them as well right now. I mean,
right,
it's
and that's a whole nother part of the argument, we're just talking generation.
Oh, I know, and I'm,
That,
that's helps out.
we're not even getting into, that was the whole electric car, everybody put electric car, well, your transmission system's not gonna handle that.
Yeah.
Right, so that's part of the issue, is that we are outstripping what can be pushed into our grid.
Mhm.
So how do you solve that? Well, if you said today, let's build a new generation plant, whether it's not gonna be coal, right?
Correct.
So even if it's gonna be natural gas, because the most efficient, I work for a utility, it's nuclear.
Yeah,
But
the problem
nobody
is-
wants one.
Yeah, nobody wants one. The other problem too is it's the holding line. Everybody's in line right now because a couple years ago, they saw this stuff coming and they threw all their plans into it, whether it be solar, wind, or whatever. And then the other thing about too, they're trying to go through all the different calculations and all the prep that goes behind all the confirming. And it takes years, like you said, and you got a queue that's full. So then now you have a backlog of generation
Well,
plants want to go,
and-
and some of them aren't even going.
Well, they're pulling out.
And they're, yeah.
Because you have investors that are, and you have landowners that are saying, well, wait a second. This, was, for 25 years and then you get it back. Well, what they're finding out is, but the ground will be completely worthless. It can't be farmed again. And so now the price is going up. And so, and a lot of those are done by, they're investors. There's guys looking to invest. And the problem is when that land cost starts going up and up and up, and you got a 25-year life cycle, it's starting to look, well, that puts my cost at this to produce power, who's gonna buy it? So you start seeing some fallback. Now, the utilities, they're making some of that play, right, and that's a little different creature. I think like I said, what I think is gonna happen is I think we will see some type of incentive program through the state that pays for some of these big users to have on-site generation. That's what I think. And that's what they're, I mean, I know that's what we're hearing. Because they're, you know, companies aren't gonna bristle up putting nuclear in if it saves them money. But the state's gonna have to offset that, because if your job's Ohio and you're going like up near me, the next county over, that's the Intel project.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah.
And, but if you're Intel or whoever, Amazon, Google, whoever it may be, Honda, any of them, why am I gonna go to Ohio? If I can get the same deal in Kentucky or Indiana, I don't have to provide power. So I think Ohio's gonna be motivated. I think what we'll see, and it's amazing to me that the solution hasn't been put forth. It's kind of like, this has been coming.
It's been there, yeah.
And now we're in, I have an electrician coming in the next couple of weeks, who's wiring my house for a generator.
Is that natural gas or?
Mine would be gas, but I got some fuel storage tanks, but just and mostly it's because, you know, like, just south of here, you know, you guys got a lot more snow than I did, but even south, you've had ice, right? And then it's cold. I'm like, I don't wanna be without power, but also, I don't wanna be in a position where they start going, well, let's roll some stuff, or they're loading the system so much that transformers, other things start going down, right? Fix as we go. I actually went through that, because up near me, there was a lot of development, and what you find was it was, AP, they weren't fixing that infrastructure. They wait till it went down, then they patch it, and then they go down again, and then they patch it, and then finally, now we gotta fix it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to scare people,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, the reason we're making these suggestions is that there is a lot of unknown, but I think the one thing that is certain, over the next 3 years, it's not going to right itself. There is no magic bullet out there that's gonna all of a sudden say, turn the market upside down. It's just not, if it was, I would tell you that. It's just not there. Now, 5, 6 years from now, maybe something comes along that changes that. Would you agree?
It's a good possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate you coming here and going into detail for everybody and for our residents and stuff, because it is a complex situation, like I said before. And sitting here taking the time to come in here and doing what you guys are going to do, diligence to give us a good rate to our residents. And we appreciate that, so thank you.
Thank you. Joe's been our only representative for Travell since we started this whole aggregation, and you've done great talking to us and being a great partner for us. So thank you very much.
I'm a township trustee, if you guys don't know.
Yeah.
So, I have a real problem with some of the folks in the industry, when they manipulate based on lack of knowledge. Because as a trustee, I believe you're trying to make the best decisions for your community.
Yeah.
And when somebody takes advantage of that lack of knowledge to get you to make a decision they want you to make, I don't like to operate that way. So there's a fine line between confusing the heck out of you
Oh, yeah.
but giving you at least more information so you understand. So when I say, the reason I wanna do that, so when I say .092, you guys that's just not a number we picked out of the air.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the history of the auctions, here's the history of what's happened and where it's going on in the marketplace that makes that number kind of a, you know, that's the top end, right? We're hoping to be less than that, but that's why it's not 7, because that 7's not realistic. You could sit here and say, oh, I'm gonna get you 7, you know, and then then there's gonna be, because I see it all the time, then they come back, well, it's 8.5. Well, there's always some excuse that, oh, we had no idea, and, you know, but that's why we had to do this. Well, yes, they did know. You know, they're just trying to move you down the tracks. And so I've never operated like that, I won't with you guys, I always, this is the truth as we know it. So and that's up to you to make that decision.
Sure.
So we have resolution 2025-10. Gus, have you been able to put together the language for this, or? So it is basically a resolution allowing us to amend the contract that's allowing Travell to purchase for us this spring, correct?
Yeah,
If I'm wrong.
yeah, we'll purchase whenever the best price comes,
Yeah.
but it won't go into effect until June first.
Yep. The June first start date. And our max is going to be 9.2.
2 for the
Yeah,
first 12
for the
months and not to exceed
Thank you.
Yep.
7 cents plus capacity for months
2 and 3 years.
13 through 36.
Thank you.
So, again, max is 9.2,
We're good luck
and then
I
for
love
years
this.
2, that's for the first year, then years 2 and 3 will be 7 cents plus capacity.
And just so you know, capacity is a complete pass-through. There's no add-ons to it.
So, any discussion? Do you have any questions? Resolution?
No, I think we got all the questions
Yeah, we
answered,
got all-
so yeah.
We got it.
You're good?
Yep.
Okay. So, do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-10?
I will make that motion.
Okay? Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Fitzsimmons, will you please?
Absolutely. Roll call vote. Mr. Kaufman,
Yes,
It's got a
Mr.
light.
Jacobs,
Yeah,
Yes.
I was gonna say,
Ms. Coleman.
make sure your lights work.
let's call it.
Yes, sorry, I was
Alright.
playing with my.
This resolution-
I don't this thing.
I know, I thought it was ET down there. This resolution has been passed, this 7th day of January.
Were you asking for anything?
Motion to sign for Gus to sign the LOA, which is what allows us to get like the user data, and it allows us to like file the renewals at the PUCO.
Okay.
So we just need a motion made for authorizing Gus to sign the LOA. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay.
And that's gonna be, is that gonna be resolution 2025-11?
Is that gonna be in a resolution form, Gus?
Doesn't need to be,
I didn't think so.
Okay.
We just need a motion, so
I'll make a motion, and I'll make the motion that Gus is able to.
to sign the LOA, I will second that motion.
Okay. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman.
Yes.
All right, motion passed.
Discussion needed? It's 8:03, I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.